Eskdale is a small rural settlement in the Hawke's Bay, situated about 15 kilometres north of Napier. It was one of the first European settlements in the region, and in earlier times this fertile area was the scene of some fierce conflicts between Māori and Europeans. The pretty Eskdale Valley has many vineyards, wineries and orchards, and contributes to Hawke's Bay's reputation as the fruit bowl of New Zealand. Part of the suitability of this area for fruit growing is the fertile river flat around the Esk River, a river with a history of flooding. The worst flooding was in 1938, leaving the lower valley blanketed in metres of silt. Many different things can be found growing around Eskdale, from lavender to stonefruit and apples to grapes. Hawke's Bay is the largest apple and peach growing region in New Zealand. In the early 19th century, Māori grew peaches around their villages from stones they had been given by early European traders and missionaries. The missionary and botanist William Colenso planted fruit trees and vegetables in the region. Food plants were mainly grown for home use or small-scale trading until the 1890s when commercial growing began in earnest. Once commercial growing took off, a whole network of support businesses was created, such as canneries and cool stores. In 1934, Wattie's, one of New Zealand's iconic companies, was started by James Wattie in the Hawke's Bay. His company initially focused on canning the region's produce. Then Wattie's branched out into processing, as well as making jams, sauces, soups, and a whole range of canned and frozen foods. Wattie's became a major employer in the district and provided income for growers in the region. Grapes were introduced to Hawke's Bay by French Catholic missionaries in 1851, so they could make sacramental wine. The missionaries later established a successful vineyard and winemaking business that became the Mission Estate Winery in Napier, owned by the Society of Mary. Commercial wine production took some time to develop in the Hawke's Bay, but began to feature around Eskdale in the decades before World War II. After the Second World War, wine production grew rapidly in the region, and the area planted with grapes tripled between 1945 and the late 1960s. By this time, most of Hawke's Bay's vineyards were owned by large companies. The average size of vineyards was large compared to other grape-growing regions in the country. During the 1960s and 70s, the local industry was characterised by bulk growing of white grapes with an emphasis on quantity. However, by the 1980s, New Zealand was moving away from the quantity, not quality approach, and in Hawke's Bay and the rest of the country, small-scale boutique vineyards began to appear. Today, most wineries in Eskdale are now boutique producers whose focus is on creating world-class wines. Eskdale is famous for its wines and is an important contributor to Hawke's Bay's reputation as a quality wine producer. By 2007, Hawke's Bay had nearly 5,000 hectares of wine grapes, making it the second largest wine-growing region behind Marlborough. It is best known for its quality red wines and Chardonnay.